Hello there friends, and welcome back to the series where I'm completing an Animal Crossing island in 30 days. If you're new here, these are the rules that we've been following for this island. And with that, let's jump right into day 14 on Edelwood. Alright, and we are jumping immediately into voiceover Ashley here because we have got a lot to cover over the course of today's video. We've got just a few things to add here though before we jump into the actual build part of today's video. I found that cute little coffee truck. I forgot that I had that in my inventory, and to be honest, we're kind of running out of places to use it on the island because like we're already gonna have a cafe in the shopping district. I don't need to put a coffee truck there. So I don't know. I am thinking I might go back and maybe change the code on that truck to be more of like a food truck because that feels like it fits in more with the fair. But for now, it's gonna stay in its coffee truck form. I might give myself the liberty to go back and change that later. And here we're finally starting to work on the pathway and kind of get into the whole build here, but I do want to go ahead and apologize for like the 5th time in this series. This is kind of just what comes with recording these pretty much back-to-back days because I am still a little sick. It's very obvious to me that I sound sick, but again, I just feel the need to apologize for that because I don't know yet how it ends up coming across in the final video, so we'll see. Alright, but anyways, plans aside, we're actually finally starting to dive into the building part of this process, which at first, and actually throughout the whole build, is going to involve a lot of this dirt path, like a lot of pathing. It's actually during this speed build, I don't know if I kept this footage in there or not, but I actually got the reward for opening and using my Nook phone 100 times in this speed build. Like, we have been playing on this island for 14 days, and I've already used my Nook phone 100 times. Even the Animal Crossing version of me is addicted to her phone. Who would have guessed? But anyways, back to the actual build at hand. I freaking love how these vertical banners came out, especially with the freaking diagonal bridge there, how they like line up perfectly with it. And I was actually running to grab some more items for this area when we literally found a freaking yellow butterfly. Oh, okay, that was awkward. That's even more awkward. Okay, come on, Ashley, you can do this. Yes! You guys need to remind me that this one needs to go to the Blathers. The Blathers? The Blathers. Alright, now back to your regularly scheduled speed build content. So yes, during this build we finally found a freaking, they're literally called common yellow butterflies, aren't they? Either way, they're literally one of the most common butterflies in the game, and I cannot believe that it took us like 2 days worth of playing on the island to come across 2 of them. That is literally insane. Literally insane. And oh my gosh, I was gonna talk to you guys about the fact that we're finally setting up these little standees here at the front, and I am just noticing that on the little jack-o'-lantern one, there's a freaking black cat on it. Look at that! Oh my god, I love it! That's so cute! But anyways, yeah, my thought process here with having these little standees at the front, in case you forgot from yesterday's video, is like, I feel like whenever you first walk into like a fair, they always have like a little photo op, or like photo booth, photo op, that's the word I was looking for. A little photo op set up front, so that way like if you come in with like your kids or your family, usually it's got like the name of the fair, so like the, I don't know, Tennessee Valley Fair, for example, that's the one I've gone to, but they'll have like a little sign there and you can get your picture taken. So it felt very appropriate that I had those like right as soon as we walk in. And now we're finally moving on to this little like game setup area, our version of the Dollywood Country Fair, if you will. But while we're setting all of this up, I want to go ahead and talk to you guys about a little idea that I've been hatching in the back of my noggin. So as you guys know, a few days ago we revealed the results of our final villager poll that Molly will actually be the one filling our last plot on the island. She's going to be kicking out Eugene, thank goodness. But the Kiki fans, both in the comments of our day 8 video when we announced the poll, and in the comments of the day 11 video where we revealed the winning villager, have been vocal. And I mean like very vocal. And really, I think that I have to agree with the Kiki fans. Like, everyone in the comments that has been wanting me to bring Kiki to the island have come in with like so many good ideas. Like, someone commented that I should have Kiki like run the post office because like Kiki's delivery service, that's such a good idea. And someone else made arguably my favorite point, asking if the ducks that we have at the entrance would give Molly imposter syndrome, and that was hilarious. So, while I would still like to honor the fact that a lot of people voted for Molly, so I believe that Molly deserves to come to the island as well, I think that we're also gonna be bringing Kiki to the island. Just because, like, everyone made such good, convincing arguments. You guys sold me. You sold me. This is your sign to anyone that was in the comments convincing me to bring Kiki. You guys should work in sales. That's my pitch to you. But yeah, and unfortunately, there's only one villager that I can really think that Kiki should replace, and I'm thinking that that's Biscuit. I know, Biscuit's a cutie, but he just hasn't really grown on me as much as the other lazies that we have on the island, like Bones and Anchovy. But I think that Biscuit might be just too on the bright and colorful side for this island, because all of the rest of our villagers are like browns, grays, neutral tones, and like the light oranges, you know? So I don't know, we might be saying goodbye to Biscuit, but if we do end up saying goodbye to Biscuit, maybe it's not goodbye forever. And I can't tell you guys what I mean by that right now, but I'll tell you eventually, okay? I'll let you know. All right, but back to this little kitty area down here. I freaking love this addition of this little like vibrantly colored rocking horse. I think that it looks like an animal that would be like in a circus, like was like a circus zebra or something. And I just think that it really sells this is supposed to be like our kitty area down here. Freaking love it. If I had a nickel for every time Gonzo was sitting in the way of a build, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. Right? You're so lucky you're on the mood board. Seriously, now he stands up as soon as we walk away. You know, I think he heard us threatening to kick out Biscuit, and he was like, I better get my act together, or I'm gonna be next on the list. And he's right. Now, we're playing around with the stall placements and the game placements quite a bit here. I wasn't really happy with having these 2 duck games right next to each other. I like them both. I think that they're really good space fillers, but I wasn't sure where to put those, so I ended up putting one of the prize stalls right between them, and I think that that helps kind of break them up a little bit. And then I settled on putting the red prize stall over there on the left side of this little area. I just didn't really want either of them facing backwards. That felt like it was just too awkward, and I didn't have an easy way to cover up like the ugly backside of the stall too. So for the most part, this is where things finally kind of end up staying in this area. We add a little bit of extra finishing touches here, and like right now we just moved the flowers and the little zebra horse, Zorse. We moved the little Zorse over. And like, I know that it can be really annoying to have your villagers walking around builds, like we just got mad at Gonzo for being in the way, but it's so cute to see them all. Like there's Bones here, we've seen Billy, and a little bit we see Shep too, just checking the place out. It's so cute to see them coming to check this place out, like they're visiting the fair already. Oh, I love it. Even though I'm pretty sure it would be a safety violation to have them visiting the fair this early, I feel like that's definitely a safety hazard. But speaking of Billy and Bones, I actually caught them having this super cute conversation, and it really reminded me of me and Alex, because Billy is trying to convince Bones that it would be fun to go run 100 laps around the island, and Bones is like freaking out and like asking for help. Me too, Bones, that's literally me. Meanwhile, Alex is like, let's go for a run. That's fun, right? What exactly is your definition of fun? Billy then finally decides, look, if you're not gonna run those laps, then I will, Bones. 200 laps for me. How about you, Ash? Wanna make it 300 laps? Cause I'll do them. Masochist behavior. Truly, masochist behavior. But now we're just kind of putting these finishing touches. I very specifically wanted that duck to face the other way, so I do try it from every angle to finally get this freaking duck to place that way. But it was worth it, okay? Because that duck is freaking adorable facing that way. But yeah, speaking of the stalls, I really like the little prize stall decorations that I ended up putting there. I mean, who can pass up a chance to use the squeakoid? It is objectively the best gyroid in the whole game, and I will not be taking criticism at this time. Alright, now we're just gonna scooch our way down through this area and to the beach. You guys might have seen me drop this jukebox over here, or maybe I did that off camera last night. But my plan for this area is to kind of use it as like a little boardwalk kind of place, and very coincidentally, our dock ends up being right here, lines up almost perfectly. We do make it fit a little bit better, but yeah, we're gonna spend a little bit of time down here trying to kind of brainstorm and figure out what we'd like to do for this space. We don't really come up with anything definitive today though. All I really knew for down here that I wanted is that I wanted to have like the little musical items like the jukebox and the little, what's that called? The street organ, I think? And just like some benches and stuff. Like, I don't know. I really only went into this area with a vague idea, so we will definitely end up coming back to finish this area off later. But there is one really good thing that came out of decorating this area, and that is I got to finally experiment with this idea I've had at the back of my brain for decorating the beaches. So you guys are gonna get to see, like, we use a little wheat field item, some tall rocks. I actually managed to grab some seaweed when I was on a treasure island, and that is literally the perfect beach item. I forget that that can be placed like that. If I hadn't accidentally walked past it, who knows, I might have never even thought to use that for this area. But anyways, this is kind of what we ended up coming up with for the boardwalk idea as of today. I'm definitely gonna need to revisit this area when I'm more motivated to do like boardwalk though, so we'll save this for later. But before we can move on to the bigger areas and start working with the more like fair type items, we've got a very important addition to make down to the dock. You guys know me and my string lights, what can I say, okay? It's not my fault. But yes, it's back to more pathing because we can't get to the fun part of placing down the big decorations without actually having our pathways laid out. Of all of the plaza rides that we have here, I ended up deciding to put the Ferris wheel in this little section just because, like, to be honest, I don't really know why. This area just felt like it was right for a Ferris wheel. So there goes a Ferris wheel. And that is exactly what I mean by I can't plan out my items too meticulously because I just need the ability to build based on the vibe. And for this section, the Ferris wheel was the vibe. For now, we're just gonna kind of start throwing some trees to work on the general space filler for behind the Ferris wheel because since that item is so tall, I don't really want to crowd it up too much by trying to shove a couple items behind it. I just kind of want to let it have its moment. Alright, now, as you guys know, we seem to always find ourselves with a problem child in every build that we try to do on this channel. And today's episode is no exception. Our problem child tonight is going to be this little photo op area. And quite honestly, that is not the area I would have expected to have any problems with, but you guys might have seen just a second ago, I was trying to walk from the front of the stand around behind it, so that way I could, you know, pretend like I was gonna be taking a little picture there. And the problem I ran into is that you had to scoot around that section. So I decided to just go ahead and expand this little area back by a few, so that way we had enough room and you could actually just regularly walk around it because hey, we've got the space and I want to make sure this photo op space gets the recognition it deserves. But after solving that problem, I realized that the standees are too freaking short. They're too short. Like, are you supposed to get a picture of my chin? What is this? I even tried like running all the way backwards, still too short. So we ended up having to get a little bit creative with this solution, and I ended up customizing some little cushions to place down behind them just kind of as a test run to test and see if maybe as you're sitting down it lines up a little bit better. And I mean, it's definitely better, especially if you lower your camera, it's definitely better, but so we're gonna roll with that for now, but maybe we'll play around with a little bit with this later. Alright, and we are about halfway through the video and the build now, so I think it's time that we slow down just a little bit and kind of walk through our little fair so far. So you walk past the ticket booth, come over to this little photo op stand here, which definitely looks better with the cushions, I think. It's a step in the right direction. And then you can walk down to this little country fair area, kiddie fair. You know what? We'll call it the kiddie fair. And Blair, oh my gosh, Gonzo's playing with the little Zorse. Oh, I love it. I love it. I'm glad to know that my villagers love this area as much as we do. And honestly, this little pinwheel here, really chef's kiss, honestly. Got our little apple bobbing station, a couple little plaza games, Squeakoid, because obviously. And I really do like the idea of this boardwalk section, but we'll just have to come back to it later when I'm feeling more inspired to really give it the look that it deserves. Definitely loving the little beach decorations that we have over here too, though. If that's the vibe that I can pull off on all of our beaches, I will be very happy with it. And while I came back to get a little video of Gonzo playing around and enjoying this section of the fair, look, guys, look. He went and sat down and played the little ducky game. Oh my god, that is so cute. Although, as much as I love this time of night, it's only gonna keep getting later. So let's go ahead and pop back into the daytime. Just like that. The magic of editing and time travel. Very seriously though, this challenge would not be possible if we had not allowed ourselves time travel because like, look it, in freaking day 10's episode, we time traveled 8 or 9 days just to get the villager homes into the neighborhood. Could you imagine? You know, I wonder if anyone has done a 30-day island challenge without time travel. If you guys know of any creators that have done that, please share them with me because I would love to see how those islands came out. And actually, that's just a general thing. If you guys have any creators that you think that I would vibe well with or that you think kind of match the vibe of my channel, let me know. Although this is kind of something I haven't really shared with you guys yet, so I'm curious to know how you guys feel about knowing this, but I'm not just a cozy gamer. I also love myself a good horror game. A good survival horror kind of game. Fun fact, actually, my favorite game of all time is Until Dawn. If you guys only know me for Animal Crossing, which, let's face it, if you're here for this challenge, you only know me for Animal Crossing, you probably don't get that vibe from me, but maybe you do. Maybe you noticed it whenever I decided I wanted to do a cryptid museum on my cozy fall island. You know, maybe that was a giveaway. But yeah, that's the one downside that I found to doing this 30-day challenge in November is that I have not had a chance to play the Until Dawn remaster and re-release yet. And I'm so excited to, but it's gonna have to wait till November, which is fine. But more recently, I've actually been watching a lot of the gameplays of, now this game, I will give like a slight trigger warning to this. If you don't like gore or mutations or anything like that, I'm not gonna show any pictures, but just don't go out of your way to look this up. The game is called Zoocosis, and I've been following it for a while. I was so excited. The trailer looked so good, and I've been watching some gameplays of it. Like they did one on GT Live, and it actually was a live stream. It wasn't GT not live this time, but the game is just really underwhelming, and that makes me really sad because I was really looking forward to it. To give some context for those of you that don't want to look it up though, the premise is you play as a zookeeper, but you have to kind of go around and run these tests on the animals to either save them once they've become infected with this certain virus or to prevent them from becoming infected with this certain virus. And it's a really fun game. There's a couple of different endings and stuff. It just seems like it was a little bit rushed upon release and kind of ended up being released as more of a glorified beta test than an actual finished game, which again sucks, but you'll have some of that sometimes. It is what it is. At least I've still got Until Dawn to look forward to. And amidst my heartbreak of seeing that Zoocosis was kind of a flop, my friend Christina told me that there's an Until Dawn freaking movie being made? What? I had no idea that they were filming a movie. I'd also like to throw this out there that if you're a fan of Markiplier, like I am, you know that recently-ish, he got kind of called away for a mystery project that he hasn't been able to talk anything about, and it was super last minute, but he mentioned it being a great opportunity that he couldn't turn down. If Markiplier is in the freaking Until Dawn movie, I'm gonna lose my mind. I don't know how serious of a claim that I'm making this is. This is totally unfounded. This is just me wishing, right? But I had to put this out there in the universe so that way if this movie comes out and he is in fact in it, I get to have my I told you so moment and I can prove to you guys that I had this idea before it was ever confirmed or released. So this is just here for future me to maybe get an I told you so moment. But anyways, we can switch gears. We can go back to cozy things now and maybe not so spooky things. We've finished up decorating the teacup ride area and the merry-go-round area. I do freaking love the merry-go-round item. I honestly kind of wish I had been able to give it more of its own moment, but I seem to always forget how big these items are, probably because I never use them. So after my experience with the neighborhood and realizing that that ended up being pretty big, way bigger than I expected it to be, I was not willing to go through the heartbreak of encroaching on future build space just to give some of these rides their own moment. like what we'll do with this pathway here is this pathway will eventually wind up and lead you into the apple orchard and like back towards the farm. And I do not want to take away any potential space from those builds because I'm so excited about them. But time for the current build. This is where we end up deciding to put the coffee truck area. I think that this looks a lot better. Ooh, you know what? What if, because I was gonna incorporate an apple cider stand into the actual apple orchard. What if I turn this truck into the actual cider, like, stand? What if it becomes a cider truck? Oh, now that might be something I'm willing to go back and change, because if we're deciding that that is now going to become a part of the apple orchard build, we haven't completed the apple orchard build yet. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about that idea. If you think I should be allowed to go back and change that little truck into a little apple cider stand. But yeah, now we've essentially reached the end of the main build. From here on out, I'm kind of just going to be going back in and decorating these little areas amidst the trees, and we'll be putting some trees and some more filler kind of behind the merry-go-round and the teacup ride. But I don't think I have much else to add to the voiceover, so without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at our finished county fair. And now, I just freaking loved how the fair looked at sunset so much when we were building the first part of it earlier today that I had to move it a little bit later for our final walkthrough, but like, I am just, wow. Look it, we're gonna try out our little photo booth. Hi there, guys. And then we move our way down here to this little kiddie fair place. I'm still not over this pinwheel moment. And all the little toys in the background and all the movement. And this really cute idea that we're just ignoring for now. I'm sorry, Boardwalk. We'll come give you some more justice eventually, okay? But wow, like, see guys, this is what I meant when I was like ready to return kind of like to my roots, ready to use a dirt pathway and lots of natural elements to kind of give us a little moment. And now you can kind of see how our filler areas came out. This little area is still kind of subject to change as of the moment. And then this section is where we will eventually be working on our little apple orchard. So yes, I am very freaking happy with how all of this came out, and I hope you guys enjoyed following me along for this little speed build today. If you made it to this point in the video, as always, thank you very much, and I'm going to catch you guys in tomorrow's video. I'm not sure what we're doing yet, but I know it's gonna be big because tomorrow marks the halfway point in this whole series, so we're gonna need to do a little bit of recap and maybe get moving. I don't know, I guess we'll see. But anyways, that is all I have for you guys in today's episode. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube jazz on your way out, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Bye! Come on, guys. Surely you didn't think we were gonna forget to go give Anchovy his yellow butterfly friend, right? Here you go, buddy. Whoa, is this really a yellow butterfly? Did you catch it yourself? Thanks! I can't wait to introduce her to the other bugs in my house. Well, to the bugs on the floor. The bugs in my walls are being jerks this week. Well, alright then.